Hello everyone, my name is Helen Huang. I'm the Director of Asia Programs at the CIS office at St. Lawrence University. Welcome to my house. Today I'm gonna show you the two commonly eaten dishes in Chinese tradition and family nowadays. The first one is sliced potato stir fry. So in Chinese you're gonna say 炒土豆丝. And the second dish is tomato egg stir fry. 番茄炒蛋. And we need a little bit of ingredients. Sliced garlics. And we have 3 cooking ingredients. The first one is soy sauce. The second one is vinegar and salt. That's how easy it is. And the materials, our vegetables are coming from the Little Grass farm. The eggs also coming from the farm, as well as the garlic that we harvest in September. These two dishes are very commonly eaten in Chinese families. So if you ever ask any Chinese family, have they ever eaten these dishes before? They will say, of course, yes. The tomato egg stir fry is so commonly eaten in the Chinese family that I would say most of the kids, that's probably the first dish they started to learn how to cook. And I learned this dish at my age of 9. It was a summer, and my mom said that now you're grown up, I'm going to teach you how to cook food. And this is the first one she taught me. And after I learned how to cook that, I feel like I'm grown up. Every day when my mom and my parents came back home, they brought back deli, and I would cook this dish, and we start our good dinner. Farming and gardening is so important in Chinese people's life. I would say if you ask any, like my parents' age, 50, 60, they actually would tell you, hey, I know how to grow vegetables. I know how to grow tomatoes, garlics, and daikons. They know how to do that. And I still remember that when I first came to the United States in 2007, the first vegetable that I grow was tomato. So usually you would eat watermelon in the summertime, and you won't eat it in the wintertime. The reason is based on the yin and yang in the traditional Chinese medicine. Because the vegetables and the fruits, they grow out based on each season, and that helps the human beings or the people to supplement the yin and yang they need, which, in general is cold and the heat. The yin and yang theory in the cuisine culture is just so important that people believe that if you don't eat the right vegetables in the right season, you're gonna get sick easily. So that's why it's so important that you get the fresh food in the farm for every season. You don't jump or you don't skip. I grew up with the experience growing the persimmon and the date trees in front of our house. Well, I have to confess that we didn't do anything. They just grow on their own. But every year before my age of 9, I remember that my mom will, we actually don't wait until the persimmon to be ripe, to be ready. We actually take them down and we put them into rice and to make them ready for eating. And for dates, of course, we'll usually harvest in the fall time, and then we will use a stick to shake it down. So that's my experience growing the fruits. I grew up in the city, so I didn't have any experience farming, let's say, growing the vegetables. However, I was able to visit my mom's hometown in the rural part of Jiangsu province, where I went with my mom every summer. I remember that before the dinner time, when the adults were preparing the dinner, I will hear them say, hey, let's go to the backyard and grab some green onions. Let's go to the chicken house to grab some eggs. And it was such a pleasant experience that you get fresh food just right beside you. I really like Little Grass Farm. It just helps me to retrieve my memory with the farm, with all of this beautiful countryside, blue sky, white clouds when I was young. And I also want my son to have the similar experience. I really wanted to connect it with the soil. I usually mention this, that when I feel tired from my work, I will go to the farm, do some harvesting. I feel like I'm so lifted, I'm so relaxed. So I think it's a way for me to connect it with a reality or real things in this world. I feel very grounded. So I also want my son, my offsprings, to learn about that. So, well, of course, my son, he enjoys it quite a bit. I think it's a really good process for him to learn these days, which is very rare to find in the modern city, that it's just very important that you feel like you're grounded. You really belong to the nature. And it is the nature that gives us life and make who we are. Talking about all this Chinese culture and my connections with farm, so let's get started on the dishes. We're gonna start with the tomato egg stir fry. You wanna make sure that your pot is completely dry. You don't wanna leave any water on it, because you're gonna put the oil in. No, ours is dry already, so go for it. Well, a lot of people ask that, how would you be able to measure it? Can you tell me it's 1 cup, 2 cups? Well, I'm sorry that it is very interesting that it's all by feeling. How you feel about it, how you feel like, oh, this is enough. So I would say you feel about it, it's enough to cook this. Usually for this one, I would say like a 1/2 cup. Well, you don't wait for a little bit until the oils are heat enough. How could you tell it's heated enough? Is that you will see the smoke coming out. See, very, very light. Now you hear a little bit noises. Zzz, that means it's ready. Now let's go. So we usually do the eggs first. The reason is that you want to keep the freshness of the tomato, so you do that second. You want to do the eggs first. So this is very simple step. As I said, very first dishes that every Chinese kid probably learn. Very simple. Yeah. You don't want to make it too, let's say 90% is good, 80% is good. You don't want to make too much because you're gonna fry it one more time with the tomatoes. This is it. How easy that is. And you're gonna put it in the bowl. All right. So next step, you're gonna add a little bit more oil again. Remember, a little bit. This time, definitely a little bit. I would say 1 spoon, because you want to keep the freshness of the tomatoes. Now, still wait until, as I said, you see a smoke coming up. That means it's heated enough. Yep. The point is that you want to make sure it's ready in a way that it's no longer, you don't see that's a vegetable. You feel like, oh, it's already been cooked. That kind of, it's a feel. Yeah, you want to wait. You don't want to stop stirring. So keep doing this. You see, it looks a little bit different because when we first put it was quite solid, and now it started to be feeling like a little bit soft, and it's the time for you to put the eggs back. Yeah. And now, okay, now it is time to put the ingredients. Okay, you have to be very careful on the salt. It's by feeling. I would say if you have to measure that, I would say 1/2 spoon. And sometimes people will put some green onions in, but you don't have to. The whole point in the process of this dish is one word, simple. All set. Now, it's ready. Oh yeah. All done. Now let's prepare our sliced potato stir fry. You may wonder, why do we put this sliced potato in water? Because as you know, if you cut the potato, it's easily to get yellow. So we need to put it in the water to make sure they are still fresh and in white. So this is easier for you to taste and keep the original freshness. So the very first step we have to do is to get rid of all of the water. So you use this to Just wait for a little bit. Yeah. In terms of slicing the potato, some people chop it, and we're trying to be lazy, so we use this tool. You can see that there are different angles, and the second angle kind of leave a little bit more space. So we use this one that saves a lot of our time. A lot of Chinese family are using this as well. Yeah. All right, so we've already get rid of all the waters. So now we're going to cook this dish. Remember the same step that we are going to dry the wok. Now it is dry. So again, remember, we're gonna go ahead with start with the oil first. I would say for the amount of this sliced potato, I would say ½ cup of oil. Yeah. And again, this step is crucial because you wanted to make sure that the oil touches every corner of the wok. First, stir fry the garlics. The purpose of this one is to get the taste from the garlic first and then merge that into the sliced potato. And it is the time for you to put the sliced potato. Now you see the color of this potato turns into a little bit yellow. And you can smell. You can smell the taste. And now it's the time for you to put the this ingredient sauce in. There are different ways people do it. There's one way that people do it is they put on the lid this much. Not every dishes you put this little, but for this dish, yes. And put it back. And now you want to put a little bit of the vinegar. And also you want to use this cup. You want to bring a little bit of the sour taste. Remember, keep stirring is very important. Otherwise, you're going to stick on the wok, and there's no way for you to get it out. So you have to keep doing it. What we have to do is put a little bit of salt. Remember, this soy sauce has the similar function of salt. So that's why I put only a little bit, but it also brings the freshness, the tastefulness, and just a little bit of salt. You have to be very careful. I would say a quarter spoon. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get ready. Now the second dish is ready. Here it is. This is the 番茄炒蛋. This is the 炒土豆丝儿. So tomato egg stir fry, sliced potato stir fry, and with a bowl of Chinese rice. This is a very traditional Chinese people's lunch or dinner. And enjoy the freshness of the tomato, potato, and the eggs. And it's just right for the season.